county cricket is front and centre at the moment on the lips of all cricket fans. And the debate has reached a fever pitch, and with the release last week of the county cricket fixtures for 2022, we thought we really should have a proper debate about this. So we've invited along the editor of County Cricket Matters, Miss Annie Chave. Annie, welcome along to 98 Not Out.
It's lovely to be here. Thank you very much for asking me on.
So, are you looking forward to the 2022 county season?
I always look forward to the county season. This one, it does seem to have a few more in the centre of the summer. Trouble is, it's a little bit disjointed, but yes, I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to getting my woolies on for the beginning of April. Sit in the cold and watch Somerset, which is my team. Try and battle out a soggy pitch. I mean, it must be an absolute bloody nightmare at the moment to try and do fixtures. I cannot imagine how tricky has it been for the last, I don't know, 5-10 years, whatever, with the three formats, let alone another stupid format. I was going to say another format added into our congested calendar.
I think there's a broad consensus that the 100, and it has thrown up a few good things, but I think the broad consensus is that it's unnecessary and it's really just clogging things up.
Well, it is for county fans, yeah, absolutely. I like to call it the 16.4.
I've seen
because that is what it is, yeah. But yeah, absolutely, it's congested the calendar, and there are lots of negatives about it, I have to say, certainly for county fans, and I think the positives could have been the positives could have come with a different way of doing it. So it's positive for the TV companies, put it like that, I believe.
Is it positive for the counties or the Red Ball game? Do you see positives from what they've done?
What the 100 or
no forget the 100. We're just talking Red Ball stuff at the moment. We'll talk about white ball in a minute.
Okay. What the fixtures?
Yeah.
Well, let's face it, they had a lot of people saying to them they needed to put some fixtures in the summer, and that I don't think they could have got away with it again. I think it is positive. I don't know how easy it is to go from white ball to red ball all the time. I think I'd prefer to see many more fixtures in the centre of the season, but that wasn't ever going to happen. So yes, I think it is good to have. We need red ball in. We need red ball in the centre of the season. Otherwise, we are not playing in the conditions that red ball is good for. You know, I mean, it makes complete sense. If you actually like cricket and understand cricket, you know that the season, the 4-day game is a really, really long. It's 4 days and they long hours, and it needs that weather.
We mentioned on the show last week that. There's been a lot said about the amount of cricket that's being played at the moment, whether that's at international level or at county level. And the fixtures have come out, and we use one week as an example. And it was the end of June, and Essex, as our local example, had 2 T20s on consecutive days. I think they then had a 1-day break before a county championship match, 4 days, then another 1-day break, and then 2 more T20s back to back. The transition between T20 and county championship and back again is not going to help the game, surely.
Yeah, it's not helping at all. There is no way that bringing in, mixing white ball and red ball is a good idea. How do you get your mindset? I mean, it's really, really tricky for players, and I think that is honestly a lot to do with the problems. A lot of the problems in the Ashes is down to players just not getting that time to concentrate on that technique and get the time in the middle they need.
I've got a theory which we've been talking about of splitting completely white ball and red ball cricket domestically.
What players?
Yeah, and but even just in terms of saying to the counties, you are going to play red ball cricket all summer, through the height of the summer, everything. And if people want to play white ball cricket, we're going to take the blast away from the counties. We're going to get rid of the 100 and replace that structure as a T20 competition. Keep the franchises, whatever. Keep it as 8, maybe 10 teams. Play it in a block. But we have to say to players, you either have to make the decision, you're going to be a red ball player or you're going to be a white ball player. You're going to have a red ball contract, you're going to have a white ball contract. And somewhere along the line, I mean, there's no perfect solution to any of this, but the franchise stuff would subsidise county red ball cricket.
Yeah, I mean, there's loads of things that we need to think about, and that's one suggestion that could work. But I mean, if you're a young player now and you're given the choice of playing red ball or white ball, what are you going to do? I mean, there will be nobody going for red ball because it's harder. You don't get the chances that you get. I mean, in white ball cricket, and people are constantly telling them that it's all about, these franchise competitions, and that's what's important. And they're televised more. It's the excitement and the adventure and the payment and being covered is much more white ball than red ball. So the problem with that is that you're not going to get the players.
Yeah, and I think that's where the 16.4, to use your excellent terminology, has done even more damage, because that's aimed squarely at the youngsters, and they bought into it. I went to a couple of games, and I mean, the crowd was exactly what they wanted. All the youngsters there, they're all wearing these replica shirts and, enjoying themselves and listening to music that even I don't have a clue what it is or who it is.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you go to one of those as a 16-year-old and then you go along to day 3 at Old Trafford or something, you're going to be thinking, what the hell is this?
Okay, let me just, this is something I say quite a lot, and it might be very, it's a bit tongue-in-cheek, but I honestly believe it. If the 100 or was actually brought in to encourage kids to play and participate and go on to other formats, then they need to play it. They need to put it right at the beginning of the season. They need to put it in April, and they need to have it as a, here you are, here's the season, welcome to the season, all the kids watch it, 6 weeks, and then they've got the whole of the rest of the season to participate, to go to other formats. Otherwise, you're playing it in August at the end of, kids don't play cricket after August, and you're playing it at the end and they're watching it, they're excited, and then that's it. So if they're really, really serious, if the ECB are actually trying to do it to get encourage participation and people watching other formats, then that's what they should do. And I don't think there is an excuse behind that. It's not that. They're doing it because the TV companies want it at that time, because it, and the counties want it at that time because it brings in it's kids' holiday, and it brings in that revenue.
I read something today about there's so many contradictions in what everyone official is saying about all this, and you talk about timing. It's not a bad shout, because why play T20? Why play the 100 on the hottest, warmest days when most of those games are played under lights?
Yeah. And they don't need, you can just about cope for as a crowd, you can cope for a couple of hours with a bit of cold, because people do it at football all the time. You can do a 2-hour game in the cold, whereas a 7-hour day, in April, when as they keep telling us, most of the crowd are 427, then they're going to get cold. It's much worse. So I'm just thinking crowd at the moment, but let alone the conditions that need to be we need better conditions for red ball than we do white ball, I believe.
Even logistically, for the duration of the game, a briefer game can handle a weather delay.
Yeah,
because you
exactly.
can work around it. Whereas, you end up with a situation in 4-day cricket where you wipe out half of the game and then the rest of the game is destroyed.
Yeah, and what do you do for half of the day? You all sit there and eat your sandwiches or whatever. They can do it in shorter format. I know it's not ideal, but cricket in this country isn't bloody well ideal, is it? We don't have good weather often, and we've got to work around it. But I honestly think if that is what the ECB are after, then they should be putting it at the beginning of the season. And I can't see any reason apart from trying to make lots of money that they don't do that. They're not going to change it.
What about grounds? There's been a lot of talk about the state of pitches, that English county cricket doesn't really prepare players for Test cricket because it's all very samey in terms of pitches, and even to the point where certain grounds could be having groundsmen favour pitches to suit their teams, and this argument about having centralised groundsmen to make and prepare higher quality or different quality pitches.
Yeah, well, being a Somerset girl, I have.
I was dancing around that.
Yeah, I have lots of issues with ground things. I think certainly the game we had against Essex in the 2019 where you won, that was right. I mean, I think it actually went into the 1st of October, or certainly was right at the end of September. And it was a hideous it was a horrible 4 days of horrible rain. And it's such a bloody shame that such an important game like that was, ruined by, I think we only had about not even 2 full days of play. And, if you're going to play county cricket in April and you're going to play it in September, this is the problem. And playing it in this country, there are many days that we have rain. And if you're going to play the county championship right at the end, you're going to have dodgy pitches. I'm not putting all these everything down to the weather. I know I think we certainly lost our groundsman after that game. He went off to trying to remember where he went, Hampshire. So but yes, the people are blaming the pitches, absolutely. And I don't know how I feel about a centralised groundsman. I don't know how I feel about that. It's a weird thing. Because both, Essex and Somerset have been very successful with their spin bowling, haven't they? I think it would be. I think, yes, Harmer is quite good, isn't he?
Has he taken many wickets recently? I don't know.
Not many, no.
World #1 just recently in the rankings. And I think that's a few years on the trot. If you sort of wind the clock back. What about drop-in pitches? That's something else we've talked about on the show.
Yeah, I think Somerset have got a drop-in pitch. She says. Yeah, that's becoming much more popular, isn't it? Yeah. I'm not very good at the at knowing how they do that, and what about you guys? What are they like, drop-in pitches?
They do it in other countries, don't they? New Zealand have been doing it for years and years and years in the middle of.
Well, I had a really good interview with Simon Dool about a year ago, and I said, why are Somerset so good? Somerset got in my head. Why are New Zealand so good? And he's at the moment, why are you so good? And he said, well, the absolute main thing is we have really decent pitches. We play our red ball on really, really decent pitches. And I do think that is something that we do have to take into consideration.
And was his point that not only at international level, but
domestically. Level, yeah, absolutely. So that's basically what he was saying. I think the main difference, he said, from when he was playing is that they really concentrate on their the quality of their pitches.
Yeah, and our point was, you know, in other countries that you've got a better climate, so you can rely on the wicket a little bit better. New Zealand, I think, do it not so much for the climate, but because of the stadia that they're playing in. But over here, when we can't rely on the weather, there's absolutely no reason with the technology that they have these days why you can't cultivate a drop-in pitch outside of the stadium and then wheel it in and drop it in for match day.
Yeah, no, it. Absolutely. I do get really fed up with people sort of saying, comparing our country with other countries and saying, oh, well, yeah, Australia can cope and they're really good at the Ashes, even though they haven't played a lot of red ball or whatever. But they have been playing a bit of red ball. And you know, it's nicer weather over there. You know, they have more chance to play than we do. So anyway, yeah, I think it's definitely something to think about.
I think also another good thing would be for England players to stop being so mollycoddled and to be, if there isn't an England game, go and play county championship for your county, not just a one appearance a year. Yeah.
What's it? So I had a look at some things after Jonathan Agnew made that big article about how county championship needs to be completely destroyed or whatever. And I had a look in Labuschagne. He played as many county cricket games in 2 years as Butler played for Lancashire in 8 years. I mean, that's a massive difference. And you know, who came out better in the Ashes than out of those two, really, in red ball cricket? So there is you know, there is definitely something to look at in that. Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, we just don't see the England players anymore, and I understand they, you know, contracts have helped in some ways, but I don't think they've helped a lot. There's lots of fast bowlers I've talked to, and they say, when you're a fast bowler, all you want to do is keep bowling, and we rest them and we don't make them play county cricket, and you know, you've got to keep going.
Well, they're all golfing enough, so they're not exactly resting, are they? And they're not playing.
Yeah, cricket. Golfing isn't good for your back, is it?
No.
Plus, you might get hit by lightning bolt.
I think also it'd be good for members that have seen these, you know, as you know, their journey to becoming international standard to actually see them come back. There's, you know, at Essex, I remember when, you know, Alistair Cook returned, the buzz it gave to the membership. And
we had Trescothick for years and years and years. I'm still mourning him now, but I think I'll go on mourning him forever. But you know, it really does make a difference. And you know, you get lots of people saying, oh, Darren Stevens is rubbish or whatever, you know, what we shouldn't be playing him. He's, you know, everyone, we should be playing the youngsters. But the good, I've talked to so many people about Darren Stevens and the amazing things he does for the other players, for the younger players. And when I interviewed Darren Stevens, he said, you know, I would never stand in the way of any other player. If I thought that they wanted to, you know, I was standing in the way of someone, I would step down immediately. But he's needed and he's wanted and he does great things. Same with the test team, that, you know, they need to play with decent players that can help them along.
Fair point with Steve-O, because he's played the best cricket of his life. North of 40, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, but it was always, you know, it has happened through the ages. Wilfred Rhodes was 50 when he was playing county cricket and test cricket. I mean, I know that's a long time ago, but, you know, it still happened. They still can play.
Raymond Illingworth, that was another example of someone nudging 50 or so, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a few. Yeah. There are a few, not many. But there are a few.
Do you think there's a problem with pathways? I mean, sort of talking about that, and you know, you alluded to what Steve-O's comments, that it kind of like, you know, you get kids, you go to any of these clubs, Wherry's club, my club, whatever, and with the All-Stars and the Dynamos, and you'll see loads of kids running around on a Friday night enjoying themselves, but there seems to be some kind of problem once they hit, and there's all kinds of things happen when they're 16, 17, take it from me, I'm dealing with it at the moment, but in cricketing terms, they either just lose interest and other things come along, or those that are still interested seem to lose sight of where they want to go. And unless the accusation is, unless you're going to the right public school or you have the right connections, it ain't going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, there's quite a lot going on in social media at the moment about the cost of cricket as well. That's quite major. But yeah, there's this thing where all the kids play, like you say, all stars. They play Colts cricket and they go up in the age groups. It happened with my son. So he went through all the age groups, and then you get to a point at 15, 16 where they either play with the adults and they don't have anything other than play with the adults, and it kind of it drops off somewhere. It's the same with I don't know what it is about 15, 16-year-olds, but it's the same with clothing. I remember trying to get my son clothes at the age of 15 or whatever, and they didn't. They went from 14 to adult. It's the same. There's some kind of gap in the middle. It's like you're saying, well, now you're an adult, but we're not going to bridge that gap. We're just going to, you just go in and you have to go and kill a cow or something. I don't know. I don't know quite what happens there, but this is where personally I find that friendly cricket is so useful. And I think it's really sad that a lot of league cricket has taken over, and a lot of players now will only play like Saturday league and then not play the friendlies on Sundays, because actually those are really, really important games to get kids playing with adults, used to trying to try different places in the batting order, bowl when they wouldn't normally bowl. Really, really vital to get kids interested, and I think that really has dropped off massively. So I think somewhere along the line that sort of thing happens. I don't know about Brentwood. I don't remember there being a particularly friendly team. I just remember there were lots of league teams. You had about 3 or 4 when I'm talking to Paul here. Sorry.
We've got 6 now, but yeah, I mean, I remember when I was a kid, I used to play. Let's say I played Saturday third team, but I'd play Sunday first team because I would be playing. League captains want to win a league, don't they? They want to pick their best players. But on a Sunday, like you say, you get the opportunity to try somebody different, try them in a different position. Open the bowling, see how you get on. There's no pressure. And I think you're right. League cricket is so important to clubs these days. It's so important to everyone. Everyone wants to play that competitive side of things.
I think it's a shame that is
sadly has dropped off. Yeah.
But you say that I'm the secretary of a friendly team in Exeter, and we play 65 friendly games in every season. Wow. So we have a massive amount of fixtures for friendly cricket, and it can work, and I think, but I really, really do think it's a massive shame that that's not happening, because kids that need the confidence, they love to play with adults.
Yeah, well, even at our level, there's so many cup competitions now. I mean, Darren and I, our clubs will be in 4 cup competitions every year. You've got the T20, you've got the National Cup, the League Cup, and the Conference.
Gosh, that is a lot.
And that in itself means that you don't have the opportunity to play so much friendly cricket.
Yeah, I do think that's a shame. I don't know how much that has an impact, but I think it doesn't help. And again, private schools, that's a massive thing. I've just read Duncan Stone's book called A Different Class, which is all about cricket and how shockingly one-sided it is in terms of private schools, and I think it's a really, really dangerous path that we're still following, because we're missing out on a huge percentage of kids. I know my son, for example, was one of 2 that in a group of about 20 that were state school kids, and I think he really struggled playing for that team because they all knew each other. They got coached all the time. They played lots of other games. You know, he didn't.
Yeah,
So,
we're trying to address that at my club by having a real big push into the local schools and trying to involve the sports. Well, any teachers that are interested. Unfortunately, it involves bribes of prosecco and things like that. But to come and use our ground as, you know, if you don't have the space or you don't have the manpower at the school, then let's arrange some formal sessions where you can come down, whether it's during the day or the evening.
It's good. And that needs to happen, you know, nationwide, and it needs to happen in global majority areas as well. So, so we're missing out on so much Asian cricket, and that's crazy, absolutely crazy. And that's if you ever get to read Duncan Stone's book, there's a massive section about how that's been a works cricket, the dissolvement of works cricket in the sort of 90s had a massive impact on Asian cricket as well. So it is really a fascinating subject, but it's really, really depressing to see how exclusive we get. And the ECB, you know, always had this agenda with the 16.4 to have 8 super franchises. They absolutely, you know, this is what they want to do, and this is what they want to do with Championship cricket as well. And this is what Jonathan Agnew's saying we need to. But you know, how do you make a game more inclusive? By making it more exclusive, which is what they completely will be doing. And I think that's a really, really narrow way and a dangerous path to follow.
All right, before we get too depressed.
Yeah, sorry.
County Cricket Matters, tell us about this wonderful magazine that you are heavily involved with.
It is wonderful. Okay, so 2019, just before the 100 was introduced, we there's a group of us got together and we said we're concerned about the 100, the impact on county championship cricket, and we decided we'd bring out a magazine that had lots of articles about how bad the 100 was going to be, and then for the second edition I thought, actually, no, there's no point just going on about how bad the 100 is going to be. So let's celebrate county cricket. So I'm just currently getting together edition 10. And it's every article's kind of mostly celebrating and championing county cricket, historical pieces and lots of, I mean, I've had fantastic interviews. I just interviewed Barry Richards in the last one, and I've interviewed David Gower of it. You know, there's quite a few amazing people I have interviewed, and I basically talk about their time at county cricket, and then lots and lots of articles. Like what I try and do is make it a platform for new writers as well as really good writers. I had Duncan Hamilton wrote an article. Jack Russell's been amazing and sent me pictures for the covers lots of times. He's been really supportive. It's just a magazine for county cricket lovers, and I want to encourage people to write in it. I want to encourage people to read the bloody thing and celebrate county cricket, because it is an amazing institution, and we need to celebrate it. It will be going.
How do people buy it and subscribe to it?
It's on my website, which is countycricketmatters.com, and you can subscribe, and it's £13 for the year, which is 4 editions.
Okay.
And that's including postage, and it is a bloody bargain. And yeah, I've got quite a lot of subscribers now, and yeah, it's really popular, and it's getting more popular, and that's because county cricket is far more popular than for some reason the powers that be want us to believe.
Yeah, that's true. That's a very good point. Annie, all the best. Lovely to talk to you, and we shall give County Cricket Matters a serious plug. I'd encourage everyone that's watching and listening to this to
go and watch your bloody counties. Go and watch championship cricket as much as you possibly can.
Fantastic way to end it. Annie Chave from County Cricket Matters, thank you ever so much.
Thank you.